Welcome to CathyDSlaught's SRC4u Zoom call for April 20th, 2022. We're here on Cathy's website, CathyDSlaght.com. We'll scroll down, look for the Zoom banner, and click here to join the call.
I started looking into it a little bit. I remember way back when I taught, which was in the 70s, even then, I noticed the kids from the very privileged homes seemed to have the most behavioral issues. And I would have other kids, like I remember one kid, outstanding student, and he missed one day, and he said the next day, yeah, I had to bail my mother out of jail at 3 a.m. So I did notice that back then, and this does seem to be coming from definitely not the kids that you would think, with the higher income, etc. groups. And they talked about different things that could cause it. Interestingly enough, genetics, there are some genes that are a factor, but it really does look like it's your environment that flips the switch. So they said just one gene isn't going to do it. And of course, then we have nutrition, which obviously we know about, influence of family, influence of peers, influence of the corporate structure. If you start looking into that, it's interesting. Same thing with the educational system. What we seem to have is a bunch of teachers who are very loud about what they believe. So they are not allowing the children to even explore different possibilities. They present certain possibilities. And it's just like this bill that Florida has passed. That bill does not say anything about gay. That bill says that you cannot do this sex education before grade 3, which is quite appropriate. And but yet you look at our corporate structure, and we should add probably the influence of the entertainment industry. Let's just add that. We have the corporate structure that came out even at the Oscars with the gay. It doesn't say don't say gay. No such thing. So you've got the corporate doing some of their own manipulation, the entertainment industry the same. Obviously, social media has turned into a gigantic problem for the kids, but because it's also addictive, and then that goes on with the internet. And of course, some of it is just going to deal with the opportunities the kids are presented, which we're going to look at a little closer. High pressure culture. And then I put this influence of discarnate because I think that's a reality as well. And sometimes if you look at the news, you wonder what could have possessed a person. Maybe something really did. Again, do your own research on that. So what it looks like is, and this would be really good to do anyway, because you could douse it into your SRC every day. Write down what it is you want in life, not only for your children, but what do you want in life? And you could actually run this through your SRC on a daily basis. And there is a code, of course. So let's just see how we as a group resonate with that. Did I lose it already? Yay. All right. That is one of the most exciting things now that we have our these powerful upgrades. So we can start out, and it may run. I've got some people now that have been running days and days, and I'm just letting it run, and it will finally. In fact, I had 2 running for us just out of frustration. The other one did finish. So it's this one going on and on. But you see, we have a nice resonance there with that. So because this is the point, and as you go through some of these codes, in order for our children to thrive, the parents must thrive. It's basic. So we've got such a list here. I'm going to highlight it, and then we'll just scan it and see. but obviously emotional problems and limited coping skills we're seeing with the kids in high numbers: depression, psychosomatic illness, substance abuse, and then also this self-mutilation. And I don't remember now why I added superficial. And then there's apparently, with the higher income groups, this life and death emphasis of high grades, which has created quite a bit of stress with some of the kids. They said in what I was reading, and again, you might want to look this up for yourself if you have kids at home, they should not be doing over an hour of homework a night. But what we've ended up with is a very narrowly defined value system. We're not doing the long haul, like, hey, we want you to have a happy marriage or relationship, whatever you want to call it. We want you to be healthy. We want you to find your area of service, or all. It's all very narrow. There are the kids that have some real gifts, and they don't go up into this grades area. They have other gifts. And because their true gifts and talents are devalued, you might then end up here with some of these issues. Pressure cooker education, unsupported and devalued, even, when that's very often not the case, but it's how they interpret it. High risk behavior. Many have gone into petty crimes. From what I read, the parents are like, whoa, please help us. So we may need, let's just look at this, reconfigure the educational system. I think yesterday, if anybody really wants to do a service, we probably need some more schools started, even on a preschool level. That's not it.
Martha's on it. That's one of her goals.
Oh, yay. All right.
She wants to teach music. I don't know. Most people don't realize, and I certainly didn't until I met Martha, how music stimulate. I can't even explain it. It does something to the brain.
It sure does. Yeah.
Especially in small, to everybody, but especially in small children. And the way the style of music that Martha teaches, kids memorize all of their things. I have watched this now for 16 years, and I've seen kids start as little as, she starts as little as 3, and her oldest one now is in college, and they turn out to be, those kids have amazing brains. It is absolutely unbelievable. And they learn how to focus, which is probably one of the biggest problems that most of us have, is focusing on something. Focusing on anything for more than 2 seconds. I mean, these kids have incredible focus. So anyway, there are people out there that want to redo the educational system and definitely work with those little brains and get them on the right track.
And look here at how we're receptive to that. And we're going all the way up to the top at 94% benefit. So let's just put that in.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Music is frequencies. So they're actually rife frequencies to counteract everything that is negative.
It's amazing. Yeah, the sound therapy is amazing. And so look, this are just a few more things. Unhealthy reliance on others for support and direction. In other words, somehow, and this again may be coming from the parents, that you're looking to the government to take care of you, your politicians, or whatever, not realizing your own power. But school, I wrote this down so I'd remember to say it. School is now identified as the number one stressor because of the performance pressure, probably the peer stuff as well. Apparently the kids need to play, but not play, competitive sports and things like that, just to really enjoy some play. And of course, there's a code for Thrive. Perhaps look at success in a different way. It's a lot more than material. Sense of self, common sense. This was interesting. I can't get over how they have these codes. Have the time and energy to become truly engaged in learning, explore, and develop their interests. beef up their coping skills, and craft a sense of self that feels real, enthusiastic, and capable. Deep self-appreciation. Of course, we're wanting them to get to the point where they find work that is their passion, and that doesn't seem to be happening. A lot of these kids don't want to leave home. Deep belief in contributing something meaningful to contribute to society. Are they getting that from the parents? Are they seeing the parents flounder? This was interesting. Lasting success related to finding friends and spouses who are loving and loyal. There wasn't a code for that. Well-being. This is big as far as I'm concerned. This is something I came across a long time ago. We somehow have gotten this idea that we should be happy every day. And unfortunately, it's our challenges that often cause us to grow. What we actually want is this up here. We want well-being. We have to understand that you're not going to be happy every day. That's the planet we're on, and that from it, you learn. So let's see where we are with that. It's not an easy concept, but we're so programmed, all our movies end happily and our, so on and so forth. So let's just amp that up a little bit. That's a chronic type stress. And let's look at the well-being instead. Maybe this is what not only we're not teaching our kids, but it's because we haven't figured out ourselves. They see the parents struggling for this type of thing, maybe self-medicating with a little food or alcohol or whatever, work. Let's just amp that well-being up. And then constructive learning from challenges. It doesn't look like the kids are prepared. And again, I know some outstanding kids in this age group, but I'm just saying across the board, statistically, this is what we're seeing. Constructive learning from challenges. Have we learned it ourselves? What can we give thanks? It's not easy. Okay, so that we're gonna take that one for sure. Prepared to handle life's difficulties. Again, back to sense of self. Narcissism, we're seeing that actually they say, could deal with the frontal lobe. Let's just look at stress related. This might be another real area of study. Look at oh my goodness. Yeah, it will be another area of study. But right now, let's just douse it down. Let's go in here and see. Just for the heck of it. Oh, no, just let it be for now, but that's probably something we want to learn more about. But the narcissism, they say, is related to the frontal lobe. Poor self-control, connection with others. And this is the long view. In other words, not just how are you doing with your grades, but how are you going to be once you're out on your own? Will you find your area of service? Will you have the well-being? Seems like there's almost too much parental involvement. I read in a book when I had my daughter, I didn't have a clue what I was going to be doing with her, and I read a lot of books. And one of them I never forgot and had a lot of fun with it. It said, when these kids come to you with a problem, they're with their playmates and there's little kind of spat and they come running, say, handle it yourself. And I ended up getting a big kick out of that. And I remember one day in particular, I lived across the street from the woman she was a single mother like me, and she had a girl and a boy. and they were little stair steps. The boy was the youngest, then Kara, then the girl. And they would be out playing. Of course, I'd be watching them from inside. And one day I saw the girls did something to Christopher, and he came running for the door to tell me. He stopped. He almost skidded and went, "Handle it yourself," and turned around and went back. It was the funniest thing. And so I wonder if we are trying to do too much. I mean, I sure didn't. I probably interfered way more than I should have in spite of that, but that was a good saying that I learned a lot. Solutions we want, this hyper parenting again is what maybe we're talking about. We may have our own vision of success that is just not right for our kids. Like, how important is it that the room be immaculate, or that type of thing? Clear the unhealthy reliance on our children to provide status and meaning in our own lives. Return to the essentials of parenting. And again, that's going to be up to everybody what they think the essentials might be. Differentiate between minor and expectable transgressions. For example, they don't do their homework. Is that end of the world, or is that, if it's consistent, do you need to take more steps, go more into values? These are just some things. Perhaps too many extracurricular activities. These kids seem to be exhausted. Maybe more emphasis on spirituality. Recognize the problems, see what's going on, and work creatively to change their causes. And recognize the myths. I know we know already, this group, that it doesn't seem, the money you have doesn't actually seem to add to your well-being. And we kind of think we have the money, we have the status, we've got it all. That doesn't seem to be the case if you really look around. Doesn't hurt to have it. We can have it, but it's not our source. So then just a few other things I found later, just which I'll include in here. And then one interesting thing last night from something I was watching, the lady said that the earth actually was set to resonate with demonic energy, and that's why they were building altars. It was actually to alter that frequency. And I thought, what the heck, I'll share it with the group. But I don't know, it just kind of intrigued me. Let's look here.
That's funny you mentioned that, because a lot of the times when I'll run certain YouTube videos for the hertz on my computer, it won't play them.
Mm-hmm. Look at it. We do resonate with this. It really intrigued me. It kind of just like shocked me. It was like, whoa, never thought about that. We know we have a lot of symbolism in our ancient writings, including the Bible, about the Garden of Eden. And is it possible that the entire resonance of the planet somehow got shifted? I really don't know. Let's just see. Let's just, for the heck of it, let's see. Because we only went up to a 99 with that. Yeah, 9, is that 90? Yeah. So let's see if we want a little extra emphasis. Because we know we want the dispenser. Not quite. And or do we want the pathogen panel? Nope. Let's just check the sustenance balancer. It ends up getting done every day, even if we don't ask for it. Nope. So we'll let that be for a while, but do you think, I don't know that we need a cocktail for all these codes. We are getting quite a few codes here. Let's see if we want to do a scan. It's right on the line. Let's do it quickly. Just to see what we as a group have prioritized. And let me just, we've all been working with this Excel spreadsheet. I want to maybe go through it a little bit. You're going to paste over here, Control V. Oh, I didn't scan it, duh, never mind. But this would be something, if you have the kids at home or you're working with clients that have these issues, because you're going to see these issues with clients. I'm going to go to replace. I know I need to go slower options. Containing. And that's where you want this little curly Q thing. Again, replace all. Yeah, I need to go slow. I'll do a slow screencast or something. Up here, delimited. Next. Other with that little curly Q again. Sort. And here's what we've got. That top one, need for unstructured play, and then prepared to handle life's difficulties, return to the essentials of parenting. And the kids are exhausted, so are the parents probably. Resist oppression and make the effort to think for self. Let's just put that in there.
As a homeschool mom, watching other parents, they're adamant that they want their kids up at 8 o'clock and they want them doing their schoolwork, where with Audrey, I wait till she gets up and she has her outline of what's expected of her each day. And as long as she gets it done, she can sleep till 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm. And Audrey is developing into a very precious girl.
Yeah, I find it very interesting how the kids are very rebellious, and how they act, and these are homeschool kids, to where when I look at Audrey, she's not like that. So I'm glad I don't force her and just allow her to grow. But at the same time, it gives her responsibility.
Yeah, and the kids are all different, and you don't know, a lot of prayer work with raising a child. Let's look at this priority for Chi. Down at the very bottom as well, value spirituality. Just see if we need to add that. No, we're good. So let's just go ahead and put that stuff up in there. So a couple of other things, though. Let's go to the dispenser, because we are asking for that. Let's just put stress-related anxiety, overall anxiety. That's kind of what we're looking at. See, we've got so many chemicals in our environment. Perhaps eyes is more in reference to what we're seeing. And there's our good old brain. And you can get some real information, in my opinion, from these flower essences that come up. And the dispenser is working to balance that out, but you can get even a little more information. I think we've done this before plenty of times. It doesn't hurt to look again. You can go in here and look at anything that might give you a little concern. For example, we could probably do without a dark night of the soul, disillusion, hopelessness, despair. Let's just see. Okay, major life event, mutated and or degenerative cellular damage, blood. Now what you could do, because again, we talk about challenges and that a lot of times we learn from them. And I personally wouldn't mind taking Dark Night out of the soul, out of our timeline. Let's just see, Dark Night of the soul, cleared the timeline. Doesn't hurt to check, even though, as we know, it's all subtle. And okay, 85, shall we do it?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we resonate, and I say yes too. So let's do that. Just let it go. That's why we're at it. You have a couple of other, Pro Tools. You have Yes Therapy. Well, that's on the line, and let's look at the recharger. No? Okay, I'm just going to leave it right down the timeline. That'll go back and forth today. Then we've got hopelessness. Oops. Again, all low voltage, that we want to keep our voltage high. And there you go, mental and relationship. Despair. So that lowers our chi, and maybe we're supposed to reach out a little bit more for what we truly value. This thinking about death, let's just put that in there and see what that's connected to. A lot of people with their own verbiage, they don't necessarily intend on a conscious level, but the verbiage talking about this could have killed me or that. So we're talking organs and energetic. Left brain, right brain, calm. Okay, there's our fatty acids. That might not hurt. Heavy metal toxicity, that is probably more of a factor than most of us realize. Okay, so we see that. Loneliness, isolation. And there's that minor. I still say curse is primarily, we've been taught the opposite of almost everything that's really true, but we see it come up very minor. You say, give it a blessing. Disallowed anger.
Would the altered demonic energy to 528 hertz be appropriate for this?
I think it would be. I don't know if we want to put it in as a symptom, but let's for the heck of it, let's just put demonic energy as a symptom. And again, look at that environment. So you know, we see these things come up in our scans, and they're scanning our subtle bodies. And what constitutes as demonic energy? Could it be just what throws us off from creating what we're here to create? Like, could it be our food? Could it be chemtrails? I don't know. That's a good idea, though, Stephen. Anyway, you can see, where did I go? Loneliness we put in there. Let's look at this alienation. That seems to be another thing the kids are learning somewhere, is that if people don't think and live like you, they're bad people. And that's kind of strange. So we see, again, arms and hands. That's so interesting. If anybody has any insight on that, that would be even more interesting. Oversensitivity to influences and ideas. Yeah.
With regards to arms and hands, would that have to do with how these young adults are cutting themselves?
Well, we do have the self-mutilation, but it's come up plenty of times before with other scans. So it could. I don't know. That's, if anybody has time, I'm going to try also to do a little research on that to see exactly. I know we've got our lung meridian, meridians going through the arms. We've got lots of little acupoints in the tips of our fingers, obviously. And it might be also just afraid to reach out for what we really want to create. I don't know. Forgiveness, issues about telling the truth. Let's look at that. That's the other thing. A lot of people in this day and age seem to be afraid of really saying what they feel, whether it be about politics or spiritual or health. Now, there's that little pesky amoeba thing again. Gloomy, pessimistic. Oh dear. Let's look at this long history of bad luck. We can do without that. Oh, there's some extra weight. Chi is impacted energy. Just for fun.
Would that be a good one for the timeline?
That's what I'm just getting ready to ask. Look at that. I think we should do it. Let's look, since I've got it running up first on the other. Let's see also.
Maybe change the typo.
Change the what?
Typo. You got back luck.
Okay, I'm not following.
You say long history of back luck.
Oh, all right. Sorry about that. Me and my Mr. Magoo eyes here. There we go. Oh, look at that. All right. Thank you. Let's check a couple others as well. No. So that timeline is powerful. On that, let's just go ahead and do it now. Anyway, even though we have another timeline running, we're in quantum, so it can't hurt. Now, sometimes it starts low. I keep going back and forth because you might see if it'll start low and it'll go the next time even all the way up to the 125, which is the max. You just can kind of go gently back and forth, test for priority to see how long you want to clear that. And remember, your thoughts are the determining factor. Feel stuck? That's for the heck of it. Look at that one. Little neck ache, hormones, eyes. Again, our energy low, joints, blocks and lack of belief in personal abilities. I just want to try something here. See, again, I think a lot of that has to do with our energy level. Nope, we don't want it by the pathogen panel. So again, there we get into some spiritual stuff, possession or conscious mind. Now, what's happening is this is sending the energy to clear some of that stress, but then we also take action, as we know in this group. Get past procrastination. Let's just put procrastination in there, and then anger. They say, I have read that procrastination also has a little something to do with blood sugar. Can't tell you anymore where I read that. Again, and then this ought to be an interesting one. Again, hormones has come up quite a bit. I think that's all of them. Okay, taken 30 minutes with 26 repeats. So let's let that go. Let's look quickly at the pathogen panel. Dental has been coming up quite a bit, teeth, mouth, gums. So that's something down the road we want to look at. While that's running, I forgot yesterday, Karen, looked at that 20 hours, whatever's involved, had sent me in case any of you look for the green book in our notes, I forgot to switch it around. Karen let me know that it's Letter to Robin is the book she's talking about. I'll put the correction with what goes out today. It's not what I had up there.
Yeah, definitely.
So we got some of this. Let's just see real quickly how. Well, first, let me just move on down. One last thing to show you. This is from yesterday's emotion panel, and I just want you to see, in reference, this is just for the group, neurodegenerative disorder, the pericardium and thymus gland, and we wanted 24 hours, which is very significant for the emotions panel to go that long. So now, let's go in here. 55 minutes. And we're just gonna clear that and go to a Wonder Click, and this I'll show you. See, comes up. You can now add the advanced themes. Add, well, of course. So no telling how long we're gonna go. I've got now all my computers full of sessions because people are going so long, and it's a positive. All right. So, oh, wait a minute. I did not click that off. There we go. Here we go. So, we're in the twilight zone with this. But let's take it. We've got a very high acceptance. And I think that's it for today. Do we have anything else we need to add or do? We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
Thanks, Cathy.
Bye-bye.
This concludes the SRC4u Zoom call. Thank you for participating. We look forward to seeing you again. Till then, take care and be well.